It is amazing what you can accomplish. If you don't care, who gets the credit? A pessimist is one who makes difficulties of his opportunities, and an optimist is one who makes opportunities of his difficulties. There are always a lot of people so afraid of rocking the boat that they stop rowing. We can never get ahead that way. A society will be judged by how it treats its weakest members. The only things worth learning are the things you learn after you know it all. The most peaceful thing in the world is plowing a field. Chances are you'll do your best thinking that way. As you get older, you get tired of doing the same things over and over again. So you think Christmas has changed. It hasn't. It's you who has changed. When you have an efficient government, you have a dictatorship. Leadership is the ability to get men to do what they don't want to do and like it. Books are the sole instruments of registering, perpetuating, and transmitting thought. Men make history and not the other way around. The atom bomb was no great decision. It was merely another powerful weapon in the arsenal of righteousness. A president needs political understanding to run the government, but he may be elected without it. It's a recession when your neighbor loses his job. It's a depression when you lose your own. Most of the problems a president has to face have their roots in the past. Well, I wouldn't say I was in the great class, but I had a great time while I was trying to be great. A man who is influenced by the polls or afraid to make decisions which make him unpopular is not a man to represent the welfare of the country. The Russians are fine people. They got along with our soldiers in Berlin very well. As far as I'm concerned, they can have whatever they want just so they don't try to impose their system on others. I never did give them hell. I just told the truth, and they thought it was hell. America was not built on fear. America was built on courage, on imagination, and an unbeatable determination to do the job at hand. There is no more fundamental axiom of American freedom than the familiar statement: in a free country we punish men for the crimes they commit, but never for the opinions they have. The Republican Party either corrupts its liberals or it expels them. It is a terrible, and I mean terrible, nuisance to be kin to the President of the United States. A leader in the Democratic Party is a boss. In the Republican Party, he is a leader. You know that being an American is more than a matter of where your parents came from. It's a belief that all men are created free and equal, and that everyone deserves an even break. If you tell Congress everything about the world situation, they get hysterical. If you tell them nothing, they go fishing. All my life, whenever it comes time to make a decision, I make it and forget about it. I do not believe there is a problem in this country or the world today which could not be settled if approached through the teaching of the Sermon on the Mount. In reading the lives of great men, I found that the victory they won was over themselves. Self-discipline with all of them came first. Without a strong educational system free of government control, democracy is crippled. Knowledge is not only the key to power, it is the citadel of human freedom. Not all readers are leaders, but all leaders are readers. Fame is a vapor, popularity is an accident. Riches take wings. Those who cheer today may curse tomorrow, and only one thing endures: character. The president hears 100 voices telling him that he is the greatest man in the world. He must listen carefully indeed to hear the one voice that tells him his is not. There is some risk involved in action. There always is, but there is far more risk in failure to act. Keep working on a plan. Make no little plans. Make the biggest plan you can think of and spend the rest of your life carrying it out. Tact is the ability to step on a man's toes without messing up the shine on his shoes. If you can't convince them, confuse them. Experience has shown how deeply the seeds of war are planted by economic rivalry and social injustice. If I hadn't been President of the United States, I probably would have ended up a piano player in a bawdy house. I would rather have peace in the world than be president. A president cannot always be popular. If you don't have your own goals, you'll be doomed to work toward someone else's. Intense feeling too often obscures the truth. I can remember when a good politician had to be 75% ability and 25% actor, but I can well see the day when the reverse could be true. Being a president is like riding a tiger. A man has to keep on riding, or he is swallowed. In my opinion, 8 years as president is enough, and sometimes too much for any man to serve in that capacity. No one in the world can take the place of your mother, right or wrong. From her viewpoint, you are always right. She may scold you for little things, but never for the big ones. Of course, there are dangers in religious freedom and freedom of opinion. But to deny these rights is worse than dangerous. It is absolutely fatal to liberty. A president either is constantly on top of events, or if he hesitates, events will soon be on top of him. I never felt that I could let up for a moment. Art is parasitic on life, just as criticism is parasitic on art. The president is always abused. If he isn't doing anything. The only thing new in the world is the history you don't know. Some of my best friends never agree with me politically. I sit here all day trying to persuade people to do the things they ought to have the sense to do without my persuading them. That's all the powers of the president amount to. You cannot get all the facts from just one newspaper, and unless you have the facts, you cannot make proper judgments about what's going on. Actions are the seed of fate, deeds grow into destiny. I have found the best way to give advice to your children is to find out what they want and then advise them to do it. Selfishness and greed, individual or national, cause most of our troubles.